What's up, my peeps? Alex Rush here, 411, guys. Thanks for coming back to the channel, guys. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Ring the little bell. Thumbs up the videos, guys. It helps a lot to YouTube. Today, guys, lots of stuff happening with Uber again. They're cutting and cutting and cutting as much as they can, guys. So they're gonna have to do whatever they can, guys. And everybody out there, you know, they're just saying, well, what the hell is Uber doing, right? And if you ever had run a business before, or if you ever been in a business before, you have to understand that if you're in the hole, you're gonna have to cut corners everywhere that you can, right? On the third quarter, in the hole, guys, they're in the hole. Millions and millions of dollars, right? But they had to put this number out there so they could show that they could do a difference on quarter four, right? Now, for the people out there that all they hear is quarter three, quarter two, quarter four, right? And the quarter of a business, there's 4 quarters, right? They're in the third quarter at this time. So at the end of the year, they had to show that they did a progress from the previous quarter. So doing all these cuts, letting all these employees go and doing whatever they can, they might be able to pull it off in quarter four, but they have to struggle a lot. Now, on my second video, I'm gonna give you a little bit more info what Uber is doing. I'm gonna show you the statistics. I'm gonna show you where they're trying to get, how they're trying to get there, and where they're gonna cut more and more, even more. Okay, you guys thought this was just the end of it? No, it's not the end of it. So stay tuned for the second video. I'm gonna give you more details. I'm gonna give you more info so you guys can understand a little bit more what's going on. Lots of people are just saying, oh, Uber fired another 300 persons. Oh, Uber fired another 400 persons. What the hell are they doing? They're getting ready for quarter number 4, guys. On the second video, you guys understand a little bit more what they're doing. It's Friday afternoon, guys. You guys take care of yourselves. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't do so. Have a happy Friday out there. Take care of yourselves and your family. I see you guys on the next video. Stay tuned for more info.
I think that he's right that in certain of their markets, they do have some pricing power. In New York City, we estimate that prices went up about 15% since the regulations came in February. And we only think that trips per day were reduced by about 3%. Unfortunately, this is a business that really needs to continue to grow sequentially. So if trips per day stay where they are right now, this market goes to about 0 growth in Q4 of this year. And when that's a very significant part of the U.S. market, that's not going to be good for the overall top line of Uber.
They have to keep growing their trips. They have to keep growing their revenues. But what is their path to profitability? As I should point out, their cash flow hole has been narrowing sequentially.
Yeah, well, cash flow is not as bad as earnings. There's some a lot of non-cash insurance, accruals that are happening that makes the cash flow a little bit better. I mean, but I think it's going to be tough. We think that they need to continue to grow, about 25% per year revenue for the next 4 years and reduce costs on a unit basis by about 5% per year. That would get them to break even. On the growth side, what we've discovered about this business is that it's extremely concentrated. So almost 60% of the revenue is happening in 8 cities in the U.S. This is the U.S. business I'm talking about. We're just, concerned that if they can't find a way to build a business outside of the cities, it's going to be tough to generate, another 3 or 4 years of that type of growth rate.
That's a great stat. Dan, one of the things people focus on a lot is how Uber and Lyft kind of compete to the detriment of both, and Lyft shares today, again, also, I believe, at all-time lows. Would Uber look at buying Lyft? Would they be allowed to?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty speculative. I think it would create, too big of a market share. So I'm not sure that would be, they would be able to do that. I think that the two can coexist. They understand these markets. Like I said before, in certain markets, we don't see a lot of price sensitivity. In Q2, margins improved for both companies because competition got more rational. So it seems like they're doing the right thing.
So let me go back to something you just said and make sure I understood you correctly. You said that the path to profitability could depend over a multi-year period on being able to reduce costs on a per unit basis by 5% a year. When you say per unit, does that mean per ride? Number one, what does per unit mean? And number two, how do they do that? How do they squeeze that 5% per unit, whatever a unit is, out?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm talking about per ride. I think where most of the growth is coming from today is from adding users. And when you add users, there usually is a cost associated with doing that. I think that the more efficient way to drive margins down and continue to grow revenue, margins improved, and continue to grow revenues, is to drive more revenue through the existing users. And that's one reason why we think the food delivery business is an advantage that Uber has over Lyft. And I think today's announcements, are intended to do that, right? Another statistic is that for Uber users that use the food delivery and the ride service, their trips or their frequency of usage per month is almost 12 times per month. They're using one or the other services. Mm-hmm. For users that only use one or the other, it's 5. So if you can get more people to use both services, which I think combining the apps should do, that's a good way to drive more revenue through the existing users, and then more of that new revenue drops to the bottom line.